So you're ready to take the game to the next level and learn how to dismantle your opponents in Naraka Blade Point with
knowledge.
Well, today we're going to do just that. Hey everyone, it's OSK, and there are a lot of different ways to play Naraka Blade Point. There's different characters, different abilities, and more relevant to this video, different weapons. So today, I'd like to talk to you about all the different melee weapons in Naraka Blade Point and teach you how to play against them and counter just about anything your opponent can throw at you. In this video, I will of course go over a brief introduction of each melee weapon, how players tend to use them, and of course how to play against them. Now, I'll be giving these tips all throughout the video, so make sure you stay until the very end so you do not miss a single one. But before we get started though, a quick disclaimer. Naraka Blade Point has quite a few combos that are considered true combos, meaning that there is no way to get out of them. Nothing in this video will help you escape from a true combo, that's just the nature of the game. What this video is looking to do is give you a foundation to escape from mix-ups and tech chases with the different weapons. Just wanted to throw that out there before I get comments about being stun-locked by your enemies or whatever, because true combos do exist and you should definitely learn them for your own benefit. More information about that at the end of the video though. Now let's strap in and get right into it because here we go. First, we'll go over the longsword. The longsword is a good weapon to pick up, especially if you're just learning Naraka due to its slower nature and relatively safe attacks. It's got a 52 millisecond hit stun on its initial hit of the vertical attack, and its vertical energy attack is a staple of the current meta in Naraka Blade Point. The longsword has a few techniques you should be aware of, most notably the well-known launch combo, and the energy attacks mostly used for tech chasing. The launch combo is a true combo when done correctly, and really the only thing you'll be able to do for that is to try and charge a focus attack to prevent the initial hit stun. If you do get hit stun from a longsword, you might be taken for a ride. The good thing though is that this initial combo starter is always a basic attack, so if you notice a longsword user trying to come at you with a lot of basic attacks, they're probably trying to go for the launch combo. Of course, if it's a new player, you can always try and counter their 1-2-3 with a counter, but better players will almost never go for that outright. Now, the longsword's other mainstay, the horizontal and vertical energy attacks, are much easier to deal with. They come out relatively slowly, so you can actually just dash out of the way of them if you're quick enough. Now, you may be thinking that because they're blue focus attacks, you should be trying to go for a counter, right? Well, not so fast. Countering an energy attack from a longsword is very inconsistent and doesn't even disarm your opponent. In fact, sometimes they go way off to the side depending on the angle, and your opponent can dash out of the way of the counter if they're quick enough as well. Even if you're on the ground and you see your opponent try and charge one up, you can simply wait for the attack to initiate and just roll out of the way to avoid the tech chase. So against the longsword, be patient, try to land those focus attacks, and dash out of the way of those energy attacks. And while you're running, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the video so far. But now back to the action. Next, I'll go over the comment section's favorite weapon to complain about, the spear. The spear is the game's best spacing tool that a lot of players will use for extra range to their attacks in order to control the flow of battle. The spear possesses several string combos you need to be aware of, such as the crouch cancel horizontal follow, and even aerial attacks that can hit you from pretty far away. In addition, there's also the Dragon Slayer into Nezat's Might that players will try to hit you with if you're not paying attention, and that in particular can be pretty difficult to get around. But that's what we're here to learn how to do. One very important fact you should know about the spear is that all of its focus attacks have a lot of startup lag and take a long time to come out. You can especially see this with the 1-2-3 combo. If you're getting hit by the standard 1-2-3, you can simply run away most of the time. Their third focus attack will not hit you. The only attack that could hit you is the vertical focus attack, which has more range, especially if you're up against a wall or obstacle like I am here, but most of the time it does not make contact. If you're going to go for a counter for this option, I'd recommend delaying it a bit as it does come out late. Now, the spear is notoriously good at tech chasing with its horizontal and vertical basic attacks, but there are ways out of the full chase. For the horizontal, the enemy can only hit you if you try to get up, but you can charge a focus attack after the first hit, giving you a chance to punish them for a second basic attack, or a mix-up if they try to counter. For the vertical tech chase, both the first and second attacks are pretty much guaranteed, but the third is not, so you should be able to time a counter or run away from that one. Against a spear, it can be pretty frustrating if you're stuck out of range, but most of the time you can minimize the damage by simply running out. If you can close the distance for your own combo, you'll be okay in most circumstances. Now for the Great Sword. The Great Sword is of course everyone's favorite noob smasher, but recently it's seen some use as an effective mix-up tool, especially to weapons that like to combo a lot, such as the spear and dagger. The Great Sword's biggest aspect is the stone form passive, which causes any clashes with basic attacks to be blocked before slamming with a follow-up focus attack. Because of the window of activation, fighting a Great Sword requires quick reflexes to effectively fight around normally. Hitting one stone form block is okay since you can quickly counter or dash away, but if you catch yourself spamming normal attacks, you're going to be in a world of hurt. With Great Swords, it's all about not spamming and carefully calculating your attacks. Other than that, it's mostly just watching for focus attacks and countering effectively, especially for this focus attack. The charged vertical can be timed to land right after a counterattack, as it does come out very quickly, so if you see your opponent charge up one of these, it's time to back up and wait for the whiff to punish. Overall, most of what you need to watch out for are stone form traps and those large telegraph focus attacks. Other than that, it's mostly just charging up a focus attack or two and letting it rip to counter the stone form. Next we have the katana, which is actually very similar to the longsword. The katana, while having less combo potential to the longsword, is great for covering tech chases and aerial combos. Really, the katana is less of an issue than most weapons because of its relatively simplistic kit, but the kit does the one thing very, very well and with high amounts of damage. Every katana user's goal is to either land their blink strikes outright or get you on the ground so that they can try and guarantee a blink strike off of a tech chase. You'll really need to feel out your opponents to see what they're trying to go for, whether it's a focus attack combo or a basic attack into an uppercut. If you want to always have at least an even trade, I personally would lead with a focus attack, but be mindful of the counter prediction from a katana user. If you do get knocked down though, there are some options for you. When covering a tech chase, katana users can punish with either version of their blink strike, whether it be horizontal or vertical. Now, here's the cool and very advanced part. The blink strike charge animation will indicate what kind of blink strike the user is about to use. If they reach straight back with their hand floating in the air, it will be a horizontal blink strike. If their hand moves upward as they grab their sword, it will be a vertical. Both of these attacks can hit you if you don't roll out or if you roll in. So what's the difference, I hear you asking? The difference is that knowing what blink strike is about to come will allow you to go for some counterplay. If your opponent uses the horizontal blink strike, your only option for the most part is to roll backwards to reset the engagement, as horizontal covers both forward rolls and side to side. Now, if they use a vertical blink strike, you can still roll back to reset, but you can also roll to the side and try to catch the second part of the attack for a counter. Of course, this would have to be a heavy prediction on your part, as the katana user can simply basic attack you instead, but I did want to include that extra little nugget of information so you can try reading your opponents a little better after a tech chase. Really, the katana is all about tech chases, and mostly what you want to do is roll backwards out of them. But there's that extra option as well if they try a vertical blink strike. I should also note that even if you do get caught in a blink strike, you can still have enough time to counter the second hit. What I explained just now is more of an option if you want to avoid any damage at all, but you can still counter that second hit. I wanted to make sure to include that. Alright, we finally have the dagger, everyone's favorite weapon in the meta right now. The dagger is a very quick and deadly combo machine with the ability to close the distance and launch players into the air for an uncounterable aerial thrashing. Most dagger players will be found using their dagger dash ability, trying to mix up the angle of attack before attempting an uppercut to get the free damage off. Particularly, the soul break attack out of a dagger dash is very effective at creating an opening for an uppercut due to the large amounts of stagger. Otherwise, some dagger users will just try to go for an outright uppercut for the extra damage. Either way, if you get knocked down, it is very difficult to get back into the fight. Now, to counter the dagger in general, you want to be particularly good at focus dashing, as charging a focus attack will prevent you from getting knocked up or knocked down, and if you're in a situation where you need to get out of an engagement and reposition, you can dash out and then get back to business. Of course, straight up focus attacks, you just counter like normal, but when it comes to dealing with the dagger dash, that's where your reaction time and mechanics really start to matter. A dagger dash gives the user golden focus, which makes them immune to knockdowns, but they are a good indicator for incoming attacks. Once a dagger dash is done, the user has one of two choices. They can either go for the soul break, or they can try to hop and land an aerial combo string. If you've read that they're going to most likely try and attack you out of a dagger dash, you can start charging a focus attack and actually cover both options fairly well, but you have to be quick. Charge a focus attack after you see the golden streak, and if you see blue, cancel your focus attack and go for a counter by tapping the opposite attack button and letting go of the button you used for the focus. This will perform an immediate counter out of a canceled focus attack. The trick here is you cannot cancel the focus once it hits its first charge. Now, this may take some getting used to, but you can practice it in free practice until you get it down. Now, if the dagger user simply jumps, keep your focus up and either wait for them to start trying an aerial attack or bait out their counter. If you go for the immediate focus attack and they read it in counter, you're screwed, so make sure that you're patient with it. If you do it right, you should be able to successfully cover both options of the dagger dash, but it is admittedly very difficult to do in real time, so you'll probably need to grab a friend and practice it a lot. Overall, the dagger is a very difficult weapon to deal with, but following these tips should give you a little bit of an easier time with it at the end of the day. And that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I want to give a big thank you to S Scout and Cheese Stick as they really helped me dive deep into the ins and outs of the different weapons on Wednesday, and we went really deep into it, which is why the video was delayed until today. You can find links to their Twitch channels down in the description below. I also want to give credit to HK Boba's recent video on weapons combos, as it displayed a few tips that even I didn't know about, so be sure to hop over there and tell him OSK sent you in the comments. Anyway, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, but now I gotta go play some more Naraka. I've been OSK, y'all have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.